Good morning, everyone. I would like to share my Sunday homily with you. On August 9th, 1945, Sachiko was 6 years old when the atomic bomb dropped on Nagasaki in Japan. Her entire family suffered death by radiation sickness or a lifelong struggle with cancer. She spent her post war childhood being ostracized and maltreated for being a bomb survivor, since many people believed radiation sickness was contagious. However, her father was her guiding light, and through him she learned about the nonviolent philosophy of Gandhi. She regained her voice that was lost due to thyroid cancer when she was inspired by the example of Helen Keller. She became determined that the world should not forget the stories of survivors like her. Beginning in 1995, Sachiko traveled in Japan, Canada, and the United States to share her story and her message of peace until her death. Sachiko did not remain in the tombs of despair, but rather utilized her hopeless life into a journey of hope and joy. Something similar is seen in the readings today. The crucifixion and death of Jesus caused the disciples to think Jesus was a failed leader. They lost their hopes in Jesus Christ. The cross for them seemed to be purely a sign of shame and humiliation. Fear and anxiety preoccupied them. As a result, they hid themselves behind the closed doors. They were hurt, disappointed, dejected, and scattered as well. The empty tomb experience reported by some women at the Easter morning appeared to be like dashed hopes and broken dreams. The absence of Jesus among them created questions about their uncertain future and prosperity. The movement started by Jesus Christ began to slowly decline due to lack of a charismatic leader, and the designated leader failed to impress and lead the dispirited group. It was such hopeless circumstances. The two disciples in today's gospel reading are leaving their group and marching towards a village called Emmaus. As they walked along, conversing about their distress and despondency, Jesus, as the Good Shepherd, sought the lost sheep in order to bring them back to the fold. He made them realize how a true and genuine leader should be. A leader should serve the people rather than being a lover of power and position. At times, when people are in danger, like the disciples, a true leader should seek the sick, wounded, needy, and despairing, irrespective of political differences. Here, Jesus used two methods to bring back his scattered disciples. They are scriptures and the Eucharist or breaking of the bread. The two disciples of Jesus did not know the scriptures. Therefore, he began to explain about the Son of Man should undergo suffering before he could enter his glory. In other words, the crucifixion led to the glory of his resurrection. After Jesus vanished from their sight, they said to each other, "Were not our hearts burning with us while he spoke to us on the way and opened the scriptures to us?" This is also the feeling of prophet Jeremiah, who said, "If I say I will not mention him or speak any more in his name, then within me there is something like a burning fire shut up in my bones." We read Jeremiah chapter 20, verse 9. Do our hearts burn when we listen to the Word of God? Christ comes to us most clearly in the Word of God. Do we spend enough time to read and meditate on the Word of God? Let us not be like the two disciples on the road to Emmaus who did not know the scriptures. Saint Jerome rightly puts it, ignorance of scriptures is ignorance of Christ. Let us take the Bible, read the Bible, and know the Christ. In his homily, Pope Francis said, "When you are sad, pick up the Word of God. When you are down, pick up the Word of God and go to Sunday Mass to receive communion, to participate in the mystery of Jesus, the Word of God, and the Eucharist. These fill with joy." Secondly, Cleopas and his companion asked Jesus to stay with them. During their meal, when Jesus broke the bread and gave it to them, the disciples realized that it was Jesus who accompanied them on the road to Emmaus. Before meeting Christ, they were going away from Jerusalem and wandering aimlessly. After meeting Christ in the breaking of bread, the two disciples returned to Jerusalem with hope and joy. Every time we celebrate the Eucharist, we encounter Christ. Christ opens our eyes and makes us to realize his true presence in the Eucharist. He also commissions us to proclaim, as that of the disciples of Emmaus, that he has risen. Today we all travel on our road to Emmaus with dashed hopes and broken dreams. Our present pandemic endangers our lives and the economy as well. Leaders throughout the world are unable to stop increasing illness and deaths. Many people are suffering from hunger and malnutrition. The world is at risk now. At this juncture, let us surrender our crisis to God and recognize his presence in the Eucharist. As he set a flame of hope on the fallen away disciples, so also he will transform us, renew us, and recreate a new world for us where we can cherish our hope, joy, and peace as that of the disciples on the road to Emmaus. May God bless you.